What up, and welcome back to another review of Dexter Original Sin. This time we're talking about episode 4, titled Fender Bender. And this episode's a little, it's hard for me to really, I can't say it was good. It was okay. It was an okay episode. It wasn't bad. It was like a mix, actually. It's probably the slowest one so far. I rewatched episode 1, 2, and 3, and this one's like a little bit lackluster. And I saw this 3 times. So that's maybe that could be the reason why. I will say I do feel bad for Harry. I'll get into that a little bit. But anyway, this episode starts off with this couple rollerblading down, and they see hanging off the bridge that little boy that was kidnapped, the judge's son, that was kidnapped in episode 2, and we saw that he was murdered, and somebody hung him off a bridge. And everyone in Miami Metro is upset about this. They really hate seeing a kid being tortured, number 1, and then killed, number 2, and then for no reason, and they're bugging out. I have a feeling that has something to do with Harry. He's somehow involved in this because Harry kind of, first off, Dexter's there, and Dexter he's having feelings, which I will say I didn't like. They didn't really, they kind of do focus on it. Like, he doesn't understand why he has these feelings, but in general, they should have made it a bigger issue, like Dexter really like not understanding why he's having these feelings at all. Although Harry does tell him it's because you're normal. It's normal to feel this way when you see a child, you know. And so Dexter's kind of like he's uneased, but it's really because Dexter experienced something like, well, he wasn't tortured, but he had traumatic experience when he was a kid, obviously in the container, when his mother was axed in front of him and his brother. So Dexter's nervous. So Harry sends him to go with LaGuerta because she got kicked off the scene. LaGuerta's a pain in the ass. You know what? I will give LaGuerta credit, the character, for achieving as much as she was able to achieve with everybody hating her, especially people in a position of power that can hold her down. And she managed to excel to the positions that she excelled to. But her and this guy, Spencer, have just hated each other since day one. And it's funny. I wonder if they ever had a romantic relationship at all, just sporadically or whatever, but they still curse each other out and hate each other. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see if they ever take that angle. I will say another thing. They keep saying special guest star Sarah Michelle Gellar. I have a feeling she's going to be involved in this somehow, and they just have her as a guest. I don't know why they would have such a big name play such a small role if it wasn't a significant role at the end. Like, is Dexter going to kill her? Is she going to be the first person that didn't fit the code that Dexter kills? You know what I mean? Because Dexter's following his code. Anyway, Dexter goes with LaGuerta and this other cop to another crime scene, finds a body. The body is of a gay guy who was murdered. Dexter already, he does his Dexter thing, but this time reenacts it in his head. He's saying this was a personal kill. LaGuerta's not really into Dexter like she was in the first episode of Dexter, the original series. So it's interesting, and Dexter does mention it, like it'll take her a while for her to warm up to Dexter's personality and his skills, because she was into him in the first episode. She winked at him like this when he walked by, and he goes, I really wish she wouldn't do that. But, she tried to get with him, I think, in one of the seasons. So that happened. In the same sense, following Harry he goes to Camilla, and he asks her, he wants to triple check the case file on Dexter and see if Dexter's name's removed from there, from the being Laura Moser's kid, or having Laura Moser being Harry's CI. That's why I have a feeling that this kid and the judge, that Harry thinks that this killer has something to do with him. I wonder when Harry actually, I don't remember the original, I got to rewatch the original series to see when Harry actually died and what was it from. Was it a heart attack? I forget what he actually died of. So it'll be interesting to look back on the original episodes and see what they talk, like what happened. So Dexter, after he solves that case, he's still bothering him, but he goes to, I guess, Camilla's office after Camilla and Harry and everything at the end of the day, and looks over cold case files and starts looking over them, and he finds a killer that got away, worked for the mob. He's called Mad Dog, and he's like, this guy's gotten away so many times, he probably has 200 kills under his belt. I want this guy. And so he takes the file, he brings it to Harry, he tells Harry's like, you want to go after a mob killer, like a hitman for the mob? Are you serious? You're like, this guy has years of experience if he is still doing this, because Dexter believes he's still murdering people. And Harry says, well, find proof first, because Dexter's like, I can't get that feeling of that kid that I saw killed. I can't get it off of me. And this is the thing where I felt bad for Harry, and Christian Slater does a good job in portraying this, of this angst and this depression and this the toll, the stress that is taking from him. And this is why I felt different about Dexter. I always liked Dexter in the original series up until I forgot what season that I stopped liking him. And yeah, I think even a little bit lately, or the New Blood, I still like Dexter to a point. But now, and I know they tried to make you not like him, especially with everything that happened with Deborah in the last season. Bad writing, whatever, but that was an issue. And I'm feeling it here more than ever, that they're trying to let us know Dexter is a user. He is using Harry. Like, he doesn't have to tell Harry these things. For some reason, he wants Harry's approval. And Harry doesn't want to give him this approval. Harry doesn't want Dexter to be like this, but Harry feels like he owes Dexter, and that Dexter's this monster because Harry created it. And as we flash back to his relationship with Laura Moser again, Harry ends up babysitting Brian and Dexter when they're kids. Dexter disappears at one point, and Brian's like, I don't know, he ran away. And Dexter's dad freaks out, and it obviously reminds him of his first kid losing. He sees Dexter, he hugs him. It's his first time he embraces Dexter before he rescues him from the container. It also gives you a little bit of, this also builds the relationship between Dexter and Harry, so that you don't totally think Harry is an ass when he sees both of the boys in the container, you know, when everything's about to hit the fan, when everything happens, that he rushes to Dexter and grabs Dexter first. Besides, Dexter was crying, I believe, at the time. But you kind of see, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of get like, oh, they had a relationship because they have it here. And him and Dexter kind of bond in this episode, little baby Dexter. And it's interesting. Dexter's first kill was a gecko, but he didn't mean to. And he feels bad, and he didn't want it to die. And they bury the gecko. So I don't know. I like this episode, but I also don't like it. And I think I don't like the Deborah stuff this time. Everything with Deborah, I'm like, do we have to see her if it's not relevant at all? Like, if it's, I mean, I guess it's somewhat relevant, because I think this guy she's with is going to be like connected to the cartel in some way, shape, or form. Because she was supposed to go to the beach, get her dad's car. Her dad had to take the car because of the kid that they found. So she has no car, so she's upset. So the person that was supposed to be captain, she made captain Deborah because of her party. The other girl got a new car, took all the other girls to the beach, and Deborah and Sophia didn't get to go. So instead they go get weed and coke from a guy they know at Blockbuster. They're hanging out. Deborah comes home, confronts her dad about it. Her dad says, Jesus Christ, Deb, a little kid died. And she's like, how was I supposed to know? And then she's friction in the family. Her and her dad are not close. She's upset at Dexter for taking up all of her dad's time and not being invested in his life. Also because Dexter didn't tell Harry that she made the captain of the cheerleading or whatever. So she goes away and decides that the next night her and Sophie are going to go to a club that Sophie's cousin is the doorman for, or the bodyguard, or doorman, I don't know, security. So he lets them in because they're underage, obviously, and they're partying. And you see Deborah's little sneakiness from the younger, how she could be a good detective or undercover asset when she was working in Vice, when she was starting out in the series. She sneaks into this VIP lounge area. This guy sees her and says, you know, you're kind of brave and whatever. And this guy's like old. It's like, this scene reminded me of the Fast Times at Ridgemont High, with that girl that was dating the 25-year-old when she was way too young. Deborah is, I don't know what grade, senior, maybe she's 17 or 18, but I don't know what they're doing here with the storyline. Obviously something happens because Deborah connects with this guy. He gives her card. The next day she calls him. He picks her up with his nice Corvette, and they go to his place. He's well-to-do. He's 20-something years old. He's got too well-to-do for his age. And he says he's an accountant, but that's obviously, he's not. I think he's involved with the cartel in some way, shape, or form. So we'll see how that story develops. Dexter goes to this guy Mad Dog's house. Mad Dog is played by Ralph Cifaretto, also known as Joey Pants. Joey Pants showing us what he was doing when he was down in Florida before he went back to New Jersey to hang out with Tony Soprano. I think they just say Mad Dog. I don't think they actually say his name. I could have missed it or whatever. So Dexter goes to him because he charters boats to go fishing with people. He doesn't have time that day. He has time the next day. He'll fit him in. Dexter says okay. Dexter decides to go to his house, goes to his house, goes through his things, goes to his office, finds a picture of somebody that he was trying to shred. He didn't fully shred the picture. Dexter takes it out, takes a bunch of papers, and discovers that the man that was in, there's a picture of a man that was in the shredder, and that man is a snitch. And in the back had all this information. So this guy who's a mob hitman, which I think is over 200 kills, they say. I think this guy's supposed to, as the story of this guy is probably like similar to the Iceman. So that's what I'm assuming from, you know, Joey Pants' character's storyline or whatever. The Iceman serial killer, Richard Kuklinski. Check him out. So check out his stories or his HBO. There's a bunch of HBO documentaries on him on Max. So you should see that. Stone Cold Steve Austin took his name, Stone Cold, the gimmick, original gimmick of Stone Cold, off of watching that guy's documentaries. So anyway, Dexter shows Harry that there's proof, and he just wants Harry's approval, and Harry gives it to him. Harry says okay, and it's just because Harry feels guilty. That's it. But also, I don't know, I really did get the sense that Dexter is an ass, and I don't like Dexter. And I don't know. I mean, I like Dexter. I like the character. I like Michael C. Hall. I think the narration is great. I like the show. It's just like this episode, for some reason, something in Christian Slater's eyes when Harry's talking to him and looking at him, and you just see the drainage of everything that's inside Harry every time he has to talk to Dexter about this. Maybe that's just great acting from Christian Slater's part, but same sense, Dexter pushing it just made me go, oh my God, he's not good. He's not a good person. Obviously, I mean, he's a sociopath serial killer, but you always used to like Dexter because he was always killing the bad guys and doing the world a service, doing Miami a service. So, you know, I don't know. I didn't like that. The next day, the charter that Dexter took with Mad Dog is booked with other people too, shared. So he has to share. He can't kill him. He wanted to kill him there. So Dexter starts asking him questions because he's like, well, this guy's a senior serial killer. I'm not. I'm beginning. Let me find out when he draws the line. So he asks him questions. The guy says he was in foreclosures. They made a lot of money in that way. It means, so Dexter kept pushing the question, like when like, didn't you feel bad if it was an old lady? Like, when do you draw the line? Families, kids, old ladies. Like, when do you? And he's like, no, everybody I did what I had to do. Everybody I foreclosed on deserved it. They got themselves into that position. Everybody that he was supposed to kill, they got themselves in that position, and he doesn't feel bad about it. So he's kind of like Dexter's just not natural, and we know that. Dexter ends up, I believe, after all this, because I'm going fast forward through everything. Harry's relationship with Dexter's real mom goes to the next level. By the way, his partner told him at one point, like, yeah, we see that there's something there between you, but remember, she's your CI, you can't be anything more. He's like, I don't know what the hell are you talking about, whatever. But the way he looks at her, the way she looks at him, there's like chemistry there. And so after he had to babysit, because she had to go meet somebody and she had nobody to babysit, so Harry decided he'll babysit while his partner monitors, or her and her little meeting she was supposed to do. She comes back home. Dexter, he's fallen asleep in the bed with Dexter. He put Dexter to bed, and Brian is sleeping in his bed. He gets up, and one thing leads to another, and Harry, out resilient and pushing as much as he can, not wanting to do this. So we know that Harry's a good guy, even though he's cheating on his wife. Cheats on his wife with Laura Moser, Dexter's mom. So now we know all the guilt that Harry actually has on top of everything. And it would be even more interesting if she was actually pregnant at some point with Harry's kid. If they had, that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, so Mad Dog goes home. There's a record playing. He's like, what the hell? And he gets hit in the back of the head with guitar. I want to know who's going to tell Dexter about using this drug. I want to know if it's going to be Sarah Michelle Gellar, or she's responsible. Is she the one behind with the little kid? Anyway, he tries to tie up Joey Pants, but Joey Pants wakes up. gets him in a headlock with his legs. That he struggles. They get off. They're fighting each other, and then Dexter's about to hit him with a guitar. He goes, "No, no, no, wait." And Dexter stops, and he goes, "Not the Clapton!" Like, hit me with another guitar. Dexter's like, and then Dexter breaks the guitar instead of breaking over his head, and they keep fighting. Joey Pants gets away, and Dexter's chasing him down the street, which is already crazy that Dexter's gone this far. And then, boom. Mad Dog gets hit by a car. I'm assuming he's not going to be dead, and then Dexter's going to have to kill him in the hospital or something because Dexter's going to be able to be identified, or the guy will keep driving. Who knows? It's interesting enough there. So that's where we left off with that this episode. It sounds interesting and fun enough, but it was kind of a little bit the Deborah stuff, kind of like I didn't need any of the Deborah stuff, to be honest. Also, Captain Spencer, his wife, shows up, and then we saw Dexter interact with Spencer's son. So then we saw how we get to see how Dexter is good with kids, like he was on the show with Rita's kids. So that was interesting. You know, we got to see a little bit of normal Dexter. So also the kid was alive. He had, so that was a little thing there. And we saw Spencer and his wife. I think this is one of many. I think he's supposed to have 3 wives or whatever. Yeah, and LaGuerta, Christina Milian, there are times now that I'm seeing more and more of her being like the original LaGuerta, so I'm liking it. Anyway, all in all, this episode was an okay episode. It wasn't as good as episode 3 in my opinion. It didn't, like, episode 1 got good right when he started finding that female serial killer that's killing Harry, so slowly killing Harry. So this one's, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. I think this was an okay episode. I don't think it was great. The Deborah stuff is annoying. And her cursing as much as she does, I rewatched like parts of episode 1. She didn't curse for a while. Like in the first, also Batista didn't wear that outfit all the time. You know, I hope he doesn't wear it throughout the entire first season of this season, because he didn't wear it in the first episode. But then again, this is the pilot episode. They're testing everything out, see if Showtime wants, you know, whatever. So all in all, it was an okay episode. I liked it. It's getting there. I just want to know what Sarah Michelle Gellar's part is in Dexter's origins, because I don't know. I have a feeling she might be connected some way, shape, or form. But it'll be weird if she's been. It's just would be weird. Like if she was Laura Moser's cousin or sister or something. I think that'd be weird. You know, like, but she started working there all this time and waited till Dexter might get a job there. Like, that doesn't make sense. Or she's like Dexter and she's a serial killer. Maybe she has nothing to do with the kid. I don't know. I have just a weird feeling about that storyline. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think about Sarah Michelle Gellar's character? What do you think her role is going to be in Dexter's development? Is Dexter going to kill her? See, that's another thing I was thinking about, because Dexter was pushing it so much. Is Dexter going to kill? Not everyone followed the code. Is she going to be one of the first people that leads up to him being okay with killing someone like LaGuerta? And later on, spoiler alert if you didn't know that. But yeah. And let me know what you thought about this episode in general. And is Deborah getting a little bit... This episode, she was annoying. I was just annoyed with her. I'm like... I don't know. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. And I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.